Good morning from God's long lost mitten. GM here. Unfortunately, Miss Monica could not make it. She was feeling a bit under the weather, and you know what that means? All the tinfoil, none of the sense. It's a beautiful thing. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. The good news is... The bad news is it's Monday. The good news is hopefully you had a good weekend. That's probably a bright side to look at it. I'm not really a fan of Mondays. We got some articles today. Some things happened, some things to review, some fights, some inquiring, all this nonsense. But you know what? I want to start right off the bat here with something pretty funny to me. From our good friends at Patriots.win. Seriously, visit this site. It's amazing. Elon Musk tweeted out, and this is just such a perfect representation of the society we find ourselves living in right this very second. I support the current thing. Hey, where'd COVID go? Where'd the coof go? Anyone know where the coof went? Discarded like a bad trend, hey baby. It showed those Ukrainian flags. That's the new trend. Support the current thing. We live in a very bizarre society full of NPCs, and you know, maybe simulation theory, there's something to it. You know, maybe we are in the Matrix, and there really are NPCs out there waiting to be activated by... it wasn't the architect that god awful. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson, oh my god. Neil Patrick Harris played a pretty good job, but what was his name? The new architect, I can't remember it. But you know, he activates the NPCs attack. That's what we got on our hands here. Diving right into the first article today from our good friends at the Daily Mail, and this is pure propaganda, people. It really is. Do you know how I know it's pure propaganda? What's the very first word of this article? An adjective. No, what was that? Share selection. Yes, let's share that selection. An adjective. Desperate. Desperate Putin throws everything at Kyiv as National Guard chief ally admits the war has not gone to plan. Oh, National Guard chief ally. Oh, okay. Someone familiar with his thinking, I'm sure. Artillery destroys housing block and civilian cheats death as missile blast just misses him. Oh, perfect dodge, bro. Perfect dodge. Go play some Elden Ring. He'll fit right in. Just dodge that blade. Desperate Putin. Come on, Daily Mail. We can't even lay out an article with facts. No, we have to inject our pathetic propagandistic opinions in it. Desperate. He's desperate, guys. Believe me. I know. I'm familiar with his thinking. A 9-story apartment block was targeted this morning, killing 1 and injuring a dozen in the latest airstrike. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Ukrainian forces, oh, here we go. Ukrainian forces said they shot down 4 planes, 3 helicopters, and numerous, quote, unmanned aerial vehicles. Wow. Must be those ghost fighters of Kyiv I keep hearing about and seeing video game footage of from a decade ago. Wow. They're really doing a great job. Why do they need our help? The National Guard Chief Viktor Zolotov acknowledged Russia's invasion, quote, is not going as fast as we would like. Oh, snap. Vladimir Putin's closest allies is not going as quickly in the strongest public acknowledgement yet from Moscow that things were not going to plan. National Guard Chief Viktor Zolotov blamed the slower than expected progress on what he said were far right Ukrainian forces hiding behind civilians. An accusation reportedly made by officials in Russia. Man, wait a minute, are the far right the good guys on this one? If Russia's the bad guys and the far right are... Ow. Yeah, let's just stay on topic. His comments appeared at odds with an assessment of Friday by Russia's defense minister. Russia has intensified its attacks. He was once in charge of Putin's personal security, said. I would like to see yes, but it's not going as fast as we would like. Okay, so he's not in charge. What is he currently doing? Did I miss that part where it said what he was actually currently doing right now? Yeah. Stuff happened. Oh, everybody died. Everybody everywhere died. Hey, whatever happened to... Oh, look at that poor guy. I wonder if this is a real picture this time. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Is this real? Hard to say. Oh, look, it has the date on it. It must be real. This is just insane. Is this a real picture? What's the date? If I reverse image search, will I find it? It's just, there's so much propaganda coming out of this. Let me guess. I'm supposed to feel bad for these people despite the headline telling me that they're doing a pretty decent job of shooting down fighter planes and all this stuff on their own. I mean, look at them. They're living life. They're doing their thing. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's sad. Okay, this is, I mean, it's meant to tug at your heartstrings. It's meant to make you feel like we should be doing something for those Ukrainians. Oh, Ukrainians. And then you kind of stop and think about, wait a minute. What are the Democrats? I mean, we say the Democrats, the Uniparty. I gotta stop saying Democrats and Republicans because Republicans are garbage, as we're about to get towards here in a couple articles. Just complete and total garbage, but it's insane. Like, the fact that it's this blatant, the gaslighting across the board. I mean, they're trying to blame everything. Of course, everything is Russia's fault. including raising gas prices and inflation, despite the fact that, you know, a year ago when this started, it's like, oh, it's normal, it's transitory, it happens, and then the inflation gets worse. Oh, it's totally normal, it's actually good. It's bad for rich people. Inflation gets worse. It's like, okay, well, maybe it might be something, and now inflation continues, and it's Vladimir Putin's fault. It always was Vladimir Putin's fault. Beau Biden is worthless. The propaganda is worthless. Let's move on to something about as worthless. Now, the reason I'm moving on to the article that I am, which again is from the Daily Mail, I'm sure we've all by now heard of the absolutely hilarious Juicy Smollett result, where not only, and do they have it in this article? Oh, this is the picture right there. I should have brought up the video in all honesty. Oh, there's enough imagery here, you'll be able to see. So, we will go through this article, but since I don't have the video, I'm just going to do a quick recap. So, Juicy, he was berated by a judge. The judge straight up told him, you wasted resources, you wasted time, you tried to start a movement in this country against a certain race, a certain demographic of people, particularly white Trump supporters, and you came in when they called him and they said, we think we had the two suspects that you described, come on in. This guy marched right down to that police station and he said, I'm ready to pick these nasty white MAGA hat wearing individuals out of that lineup so they can go to jail and I can get my closure. Yeah. Got quite a shock when the two African gentlemen that he hired were there waiting for him. But just that mentality. He was ready to go in, accuse people who he would have never seen in his life, two random white guys who fit the very fake description that he filed, send them off to prison so that he could have his closure. Pathetic. Truly pathetic. So anyways, the judge berates him, completely and totally just shoots him down, and then says, guess what, Trump? 150 days, baby. You're out. And I know what you're saying. I'm saying it too. Really? Really, dude? Really? Like, what was that, 5 months? I ain't gonna lie, it's more than I thought he would get, because aside from the massive amount of inconvenience incurred, he didn't actually hurt anyone. So, as much as I would love to see this guy go away forever, he essentially will. Maybe. He'll, in 5 months, or it probably won't even last that long, let's say 3 months with good behavior, he'll probably get out. They'll probably do some bleeding heart. Oh, I learned my lesson. Or not. I mean, he's still double, tripling down. This article will show that. But at least it was dealt with. You know? At least something came of it. I mean, Alec Baldwin's still out there walking around. He shot a girl at point blank. Oh, I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't see her fall over and blood everywhere from the gunshot to her wound. I just walked out, and 45 minutes later, it occurred to me something had happened. And yes, I'll acknowledge shock is a thing, but Alec Baldwin is a pathetic murderer who should be behind bars. Yeah, come at me, bro. Anywho, Juicy Smollett, 150 days. What followed was ridiculous. As he's marching out, he throws up his fist. He says, if anything happens to me while I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that. He says, I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal, he screams, like this guy's Jeffrey Epstein or something. Truth be told, if you know anything about the background of this whole situation, you know that Kamala Harris and various other Democrat operatives were pushing an anti-lynching bill, and super shockingly, Mr. Smollett was a victim of lynching with his little. I should not make fun of the size of the noose, considering the FBI went after NASCAR for a pull rope, and those were itty bitty. It's you gotta stop every now and again and just say, man, what kind of clown world are we living in when these are the people that are running things? Anywho, as they're dragging him away, he starts screaming all these ridiculous things about how he won't kill himself and how he's not suicidal, yada yada yada. I mean, the dude he's beyond tripling down. But getting all that out of the way, the main article here, Juicy Smollett's Empire co-star, I ain't gonna try that name, Miss Henson, likens jailed hate crime faker to racist lynching victim. What is the purpose of me pulling this up? What is the purpose of me talking about this following, honestly, following a blatant gaslighting propagandistic campaign to try to get us to support another country's sovereignty, their borders, their right to bear arms, but of course not our own. It's because the gaslighting has just gone off the rails. People have just realized that reality is essentially whatever you make it. So they can lie, they can cheat, they can say whatever they need to. It doesn't matter because there is no truth but the power they hope to gain. And this individual really is just hopping right on this. This is the atmosphere, the culture that is being created because of all these years of just blatant lies and blatant propaganda and blatant gaslighting. I mean, look what these people have done. And I'm not talking about, we're going to leave Miss Henson, Miss Juicy Smollett, but really I want to concentrate on look what the quote unquote elites and the people in control have done to cultivate this culture. New York City and DC mayors tell homeless people to get off the streets to avoid on-the-run serial killer responsible for shooting 5 men in a month. So the cops issued a rare statement basically saying, hey, homeless people, for this brief second, you exist. Now get off the road. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi, is her tent district in her entire area. I mean, these areas are dumpster fires. Democrat-run dumpster fires. And I'm glad that they're acknowledging it. At least they're, not just pretending it doesn't exist anymore. Oh no, there's no homeless people to worry about. Oh wait, there's camps all over. I'm still wondering why these people didn't die from the coof, but that's assuming it's anything more than the common cold. Anywho. Again, going back to the issue here with this, I mean, we could go into this article. It's an interesting thing. It's about a serial killer, which is frankly probably more interesting than anything going on in this dumpster fire of a government. However, the reason I bring this up, where they're talking about this guy, they're talking about the homeless, they're talking about finding him, tracking him down, and it is cool if you're a fan of like a true crime type thing. This guy just wanders around, he's just shooting people, just shooting. I mean, he's a serial killer. Look at him. Look at him. All he needs is a jigsaw mask. But the reason why I feel that the people are so empowered now is because of Democrat policies. They've seen, as we'll hop over to this next one, they have seen that indeed there are no consequences. I mean, look at the videos we see out of California where people are literally looting stores. They are literally going through taking things off because they know they won't get persecuted. They won't even get stopped. No one will say anything. I saw a video of a guy going behind a counter with a garbage bag, just starts shoveling things in, and the nice old lady's on the phone. She says, yes, he's trying his hardest. He's taking things. He's doing things. And who knows what the person on the other side was saying? Maybe they're going to send a social worker. Who knows? Maybe they just said, well, does it seem like his total has broken $1,000 yet? Otherwise, we just can't afford to care on this one. Oh, sorry, bro. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Look at this one. On the run, Moa, Knife Man, mocks New York's woke bail reform and says even if he handed himself in, I'm assuming, even if he handed himself I think we're missing the word in. Even if he handed himself in for slashing 2 museum receptionists, he'd be back on the streets in hours. This is where these Democrat policies get you. He's 60 years old. He's wanted by NYPD for stabbing 2 museum. Now, that granted, remember, this is separate. This is separate from the serial killer. This is someone else. Stabbing 2 Museum of Modern Art employees despite the ongoing manhunt. He took to social media Sunday to claim he was framed. Interesting. He was framed. He was filmed Saturday jumping over the counter in the museum and attacking the 2 24-year-olds. Framed, absolutely. One was a man, one was a woman. Both were taken to the hospital where they are expected to survive. A day earlier, Cabana had his membership to the museum revoked for 2 incidents of disorderly conduct. After stabbing the worker Saturday, he fled the scenes, now on the run. They issue a photograph of his identity, blah, 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 blah. We're good. We could go into this. Let's find his exact quote here. This is ridiculous. Okay, check this out. Gary Joe Cat. Now, Gramps can take his nap, and by morning, the cops will still be filling out his paperwork. Now, remember, this is following stabbing. They say, why did you delete the previous post? It's not like everyone didn't take screenshots. NYPD is going to get you tonight. His reply, again, showing the mentality, showing the culture that the Democrats and their policies have cultivated. Tonight, how about not ever, dudes and dudettes? I have to shoot props for anyone other than me in the world who uses the word dudettes. It's a lost art. This is a perfect example of how effed up our justice system is in the USA. Even if I turn myself in, New York City has, quote, no bail provisions. So I would walk out the front door and a couple of hours later be back on the street. Be glad I'm in Honduras. Lots of bad hombres here. I'm taking a Machismo 101 class just to keep up. He says, sadly, there will be no more stabbings to entertain you. If you want to see some fun murderers, go see Chicago the Musical on the Broadway. Or go snorkeling with the NYPD divers who are frantically searching for the knife that I threw off the BK Bridge on my way home. Or better yet, come to Mar-a-Lago. I just got a new toy legally thanks to Trump's laws allowing mentally ill peeps to buy AK-47s. That's full of crap. That is absolute nonsense. Trump's new... No, you know what? Never mind. I bought a big magazine of bullets, but yeah, he's full of crap. Anybody who tries to buy a gun legally, unfortunately not because of the president, has to go through miles of red tape, miles of crap. They have to just dig through the system in order to get it. You gotta go through background checks. You gotta do this and this. It's not, you can't just walk into a place, buy it, and be on your merry way, for the most part. So, yeah, the guy's obviously nuts. He's just spouting crap. He says he's in Honduras, no extradition. But the point is, he's not wrong about how god-awful our justice system has become now, especially if you lean a certain way politically or, unfortunately, you look a certain way that they tend to associate with leaning a certain way. Pathetic as it is, it's back and it is the new normal. And I know if Miss Monica were here, she would take, oh, I hate that phrase, the new normal, and she's not wrong. It is garbage. I don't know who thinks, aside from NPCs, going back to Elon Musk's tweet, who thinks Democrats, well, it's just, again, it's hard not to say Democrats when I live in a state that contains Detroit. You compare Detroit to, and it's a very fair comparison, to Hiroshima. In the same span of time, Detroit turned from essentially a lush, amazing city to a complete and total just dumpster fire, garbage heap of crap that it is. Now, there are good little spots in it. There are sprinkles on this dumpster fire that we have, but unfortunately it is still what it is, showing that it is actually easier to come back from being hit by an atomic bomb than it is from Democrat policies. And yet, the NPCs just keep going, yup, straight D, right down the line, yup, sounds good to me, boss. And then there we are. It's insane. It's insane. And now, unfortunately, because President Trump brought out the absolute worst in everybody's issues with their mom, dad, mentor, society, whatever, the hate that was personified, and that they could say, this man is the one who's the source of that hate. I mean, everything, literally everyone. You want a boogeyman, you got him. No matter what your issues are, no matter what your baggage is, they can pin it on the president, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, we're not him. Put us in power. We'll, I don't know, repeal the Civil Rights Act, or at least attempt to if you're in California. We'll do all these things, all these policies. Who wants to be, who wants to have to worry about bail or anything like that? Don't. Assuming you're not a January 6th individual who either has offed himself or is rotting away in solitary confinement, because of course that's how our totalitarian regime seems to treat dissenters. Yeah, tell me more about Putin. Tell me more about him. He wasn't wrong when he said that the West is pretty bad. Pretty bad. And even China calling us out, calling us an empire of lies. Well, Joe Biden's in control. And Joe Biden's the biggest liar in the history of our political system. At least I believe so. I think he's lied about everything. Either lied or plagiarized. Oh, to the top of my class. No, you weren't. Oh, I wrote this speech. No, you didn't. Oh, come on, man. I want to fund the police. No, you don't. Don't go on a rant. Even though we all need to rant. That's what Bo Biden, absolutely worthless. He's been worthless, and the cabal, their words, not mine, the cabal that put him in charge, completely undermining the very people of this country, I pray for swift justice. Unfortunately, as the song says, you can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, God will cut you down. Sooner or later, I know, I'm not the most patient person. Sooner or later, let's just hop to this next article from the Post-Millennial. Again, this is the culture they facilitated and that they cultivated. This is what is happening on our streets. Biological male who identifies as a woman arrested for allegedly killing after being released from prison for killing 2 women. He's 83 years old, testified to having a problem with women. Look at that picture. Just take a second. Can I make this any bigger? Can I make this bigger just so you can stare at this? Look at this. Nope, not Jerry Jacob. The picture. That one. Look at that picture. Just look at it. Look at it. I throw a cheap wing on and go, yeah, I'm a woman now. Put me in with the women. What are you in for? Killing women. Okay, boss, sounds good to me. Boop. Off you go. Have fun. Try not to kill any women this time around. I got my hardest, boss. Insane. Insane. And that's all you have to do. So, hey, take note. Take note. Oh no, I've murdered a bunch of people. I'm literally soaked in blood. Oh, you're going to prison for a long time. Well, actually, I'm a woman. Oh, well, in that case, go to women's prison. Okay. Wow. Oh, insane. 83-year-old Brooklyn biological male who identifies as a woman and served time for murdering 2 women has been arrested after allegedly killing another woman. Oh my goodness. Dismembering her body and scattering her pars. Pars? Pars, post-millennial? Yeah, work on your golf game. Anyways, insane. Let's not get that guy's face up there. I don't want to hear about that. We could go about it. It looks like he goes into detail about where the woman's body parts were found. Wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. There's a long... Marcy has a long history of violence against women. I'm calling Marcy because he's a woman. I know that's probably the last name. I don't even care. And has spent the majority of life behind bars. In 1963, Marcy was convicted of murdering his girlfriend and sentenced to 20 years to life. Released on lifetime parole after just 20 years, went on to stab another girlfriend. Gee whiz, I'm seeing a pattern. The killer was free for less than a year before she. You hear that, ladies? She. That's you. This is one of your people now. Disavowed. Was busted again for fatally stabbing another living girlfriend, stuffing her body into a bag. Oh my god. He was convicted of first-degree manslaughter in the case in 1986 and sentenced to a 6 to 12-year term in prison. Oh my god. Was released from a correctional facility in 2019 after multiple denied attempts at being granted parole. Next court date is on Thursday. Look at what they've done to our boy. We had a justice system. We had one. And this is where this woke, try my hardest not to swear, bull-ish, that's not satisfying enough. This is where these melon farmers have brought us. Now all it takes is identify as a woman. You know, maybe mental health is where we should go as a country. Bring back asylums. Maybe. There's this odd correlation between abolishing asylums and completely revamping our prison system with the rise of this. It's almost like, you know, instead of saying, you're crazy, you need help, you go, oh, so stunning, oh, so brave, you go, girl. Okay, you killed a couple more. That's okay, you're strong, powerful woman. Such a powerful woman. Oh, it's kind of like They Live. I put my glasses on, I look at this, and I see it exactly what it is. We are cultivating a society making this Sodom and Gomorrah. We want to bring that kind of democracy back because if everybody's fighting each other, no one's fighting the elites. If everybody's united, oh, well, gee whiz, we might all start to actually think, you know what, we don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want it. If everyone could think rationally, maybe that's what would happen. But as we've seen from the elites and the other ones and the even the culture around certain things happening in which there's irrefutable proof that it did in fact happen, they don't care. They don't care. Their feelings do not care about the facts, and that goes for everything. I mean, you want to talk science? Is this science? What happened to the coof? It just disappeared and we have to learn to live with it? Oh, well then what about the last 2 years of our life? Okay, stop asking questions. Okay, you want to talk about the national progression? Or, I don't even want to call it progression. The way this nation is going, you look only at our leaders. This brings my next one. Oh yeah. I'm no fan of Tulsi Gabbard. I understand she's got some good points, but she also has some garbage points. But good gravy. This is why I hate Republicans. You know, it's why it's very difficult to say Republican and Democrat as opposed to Uniparty. This is why I hate the Uniparty. And unfortunately, Tulsi Gabbard herself, I believe, was on the World Economic Forum's website as a bright new leader. So, wow. Talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing, but I mean, people seem to like her. She says certain things, and in this case, I'll give her props. She calls out Mitt Romney, who is just the worst. He is just a giant dumpster fire. Hey, Mitt Romney, hey, all this talk about Hunter Biden, wasn't your son on the Ukrainian board as well? Interesting. I'm sure that will totally never come up here. God, I hate Mitt Romney. Anywho, funny thing about this whole situation is Mitt Romney. Let's find his tweaks. I know it's on here before we get to it. Tulsi Gabbard is parroting fake Russian propaganda. Her treasonous lies may well cost lives. What? Yeah, we. Oh my goodness. So let's just start at the beginning. Tulsi Gabbard had harsh words for Utah Senator Mitt Romney. Get it together, Utah. I don't care if this guy's magic underwear. Give him the boot. We just need to primary these people. We need to get rid of any of them. Any of these establishment losers. Romney, McCain, yeah, he's dead, thankfully. McConnell, Lindsey Graham. Get rid of them. Just get rid of them all. Had harsh words for Utah Senator Mitt Romney after he accused her of treason and being a Russian propaganda parrot and called for his resignation. Speaking to Tucker Carlson on Friday night, Gabbard spoke about the testimony of Biden official Victoria Nuland in the U.S. Senate last week. Nuland had testified that there are labs in Ukraine that need to be secured from Russian forces. Gabbard said that she was, quote, extremely concerned about this revelation and that the administration was behaving irresponsibly with regard to potential pathogens combined with those labs. Interesting thing about all this situation going on. So, the labs that don't exist. Okay, maybe they exist, but they're not ours. Okay, maybe they exist, and maybe we funded them, but they're not ours. Okay, maybe they existed, maybe we funded them, maybe they're partially ours, but they're not biological weapons. They're actually just, it's actually like food and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's farming related. I can't think of the right word. You get what I'm saying. And then, of course, oh wait, what do you mean? Russia's saying something about biological weapons? Nah. Then testimony in front of Congress and let slip. Oh wait, these are ours, and yeah, they probably are pretty bad. We don't want Russia getting our hands on them. Wow. I can't imagine why. St. Fauci has disappeared. Has anyone noticed that? Where'd Fauci go? It was like they're hiding him because, oh wait, some news might come out. Anyways. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to play the clip. Unless this war with Ukraine ends now, and ends tonight, Gabbard said, we face a real certainty that one or more of these labs will be compromised, will be breached, and it won't just be the people of Ukraine who are impacted. We could face another global crisis when you look at the pathogen that could be released. She said the labs must be shut down immediately. Gabbard replied to Romney's comments saying that there are... You know what? Here we go. This is actually pretty amazing. I think it opened right here. There's a giant rant about this, and it's amazing. You know, she just basically lays out everything here. There we go. Lays out everything. You claim these securing these labs is treasonous and will lead to a loss of life, and the exact opposite is obviously true. Please provide evidence what it says is untrue. Evidence of the existing biolabs, their vulnerability, and thus the need to take immediate action is beyond dispute. And then she starts listing sources. So, like, I can understand that Tulsi Gabbard may have... She may, like I said, I still think she's a fox in sheep's clothing. However, I mean, you gotta call a spade a spade. In this case, she called him out, she sourced it, and she basically said, you're full of crap, so stop saying I'm full of crap. I gotta respect that. I gotta respect it. She's no Marjorie Taylor Greene, far from it. And some of the crap she said about certain topics, we'll go into that another time. You know, that's a story for another day. I just don't agree with. I really think that she is a mixed bag. But you know what? If I had to choose between evil cabal and mixed bag, maybe I would choose the mixed bag. But luckily, I don't have to make that choice. So really, a reflection of our leadership right now, Mitt Romney and the propaganda, the gaslighting, talking about, oh, this doesn't exist and you're treasonous. That's what it is, isn't it? You're either on their side or Putin's. You're not allowed to say, okay, wait a minute. Maybe they're saying something that we should at least mine for nuggets of truth. That is why I don't believe, even though I hate certain people like Mitt Romney, I don't believe in censoring people. I never do. The First Amendment exists for a reason. And even if someone says something outrageous or stupid or irritating or offensive, it's our duty to stand next to him and say, I don't support what this individual says, but I support the right to say it. And I have the power to ignore him, call him a twat, and walk away. Everybody has this power. I know, it's crazy to think about, but everybody has this power. Just to be able to say, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but you're kind of a moron, so you do you, I'll do me, and go the other way. Crazy, crazy. It's like heresy saying these words. Back on topic. I have to give props to Tulsi Gabbard for calling it out, but really it just brings it back to the entire problem with this situation. It's obvious to the world, to the people who, the non-NPCs who are actually paying attention, that something is going on and they're not telling us. Russia's trying to say something about biolabs. They're trying to say something about bad things going on in Ukraine, and the response from the West is tech giants, censor them. News, censor them. Everybody, this is the message. This is what you put forward. If you're not pro this, then you're on their side, and you deserve to be censored too. No. We should not be censoring these people. We shouldn't be cutting off RT or anything like that. We should be listening to them. If only a little bit. We have to listen to this garbage, blatantly false nonsense. I should be able to hear the other side. I should be able to say, you know what? I kind of want to hear what Putin has to say. At least I might be able to, even if he goes on, USSR back together. It's funny. I just realized I was combining like a Russian stereotype with a Chinese stereotype. Maybe it's because I was just reading an article about how Russia was, China we know has Russia's back, even though they've come out a little bit and been like, you might want to calm down a little bit. They still have the back because we know they're watching. They're watching how everything is going with around Ukraine because they want Taiwan. But they seem like they want to be on top of a world economy and not a pile of death, not a scrap heap. They want to actually have people to rule, so they're kind of like, temper it down just a little bit. But I think even China was blown away by the West's reaction to this entire situation. Because even they came out and they said, yeah, we got their back. Anyone says anything, it's going to be a problem. And then all of a sudden, they're like, we got your back, and yeah, we'll support you, but really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Really makes you wonder what's going on in Ukraine, what this POS has been funding, and his ilk. When I say his ilk, look no farther than this. This comes from Red State. It was all over. I chose this one because they had the tweet, and you gotta love it. But crazy Aunt Nancy Pelosi delivers a riveting. Is there any way to just cut that stuff off? There we go. Yeah, it's gonna be a little big. Kind of looks like it was out of a book, but then it cuts off all that side stuff. Anyways, crazy Aunt Nancy Pelosi delivers a riveting commentary on the deficit. Now keep in mind, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi. I believe Nancy Pelosi had. I don't think it was her son. I know her nephew is Gavin Newsom. I believe she had somebody. It might have been her son, and actually we can look this up, but I believe that she also had somebody on the Ukraine Council as well, like Nancy Pelosi, Mitt Romney, Biden, and one other person. I can never remember who it is. She had someone on it too. This is a perfect personification of who is leading this country. This face right here. Look at that. Look at that. Would you let this person drive? I wouldn't let this person drive. If I got an Uber or two, where you going? I'd go, peace. Not that I Uber, but you know what I mean. If I got a cab, I got a taxi, and I saw this, I'd go, nah, you know what? It's a good day to walk. But sir, there's a hurricane. It's a good day to walk. And yeah, she's leading our country. Alright, well, this is Red State. I try to hit everything from across the spectrum. Red State, very biased to the right, obviously Red State. And they have unkind words, but really I'm here for this. From Speaker Pelosi, you know what? Let's just hear her say it, and I hope the volume works because it sounds fine.
Years, but we have to live in a year where even though the bill's for 10 years, they measure it for 20 years. And Imprimatur said $1 trillion over 20 years is saved. So when we're having this discussion, it's important to dispel some of those who say, well, it's the government spending. No, it isn't.
Just try to like watch her face and just see the various parts of either technology or work she's done over the years kind of like offset with each other, and then her teeth are kind of doing their own thing. It's like if you look at each individual part of her face, it's doing something different. Yeah, that was childish, but worth it.
The government spending is doing the exact reverse, reducing the national debt.
Oh, you spend money to reduce debt. Now, if you were spending money on the debt, ergo paying it back, that would work. I just never realized that. I see. So if I spend all my money, I just need to call the bank and say, hey, I just need more money. Then I can reduce my debt.
It is not inflationary, A. B, we don't want to reduce the increase in jobs, which we're very proud of. This president breaking records.
Breaking records with jobs. Hey, newsflash, if you fire everybody and then hire some of them back, that's not creating new jobs. We are at a deficit, the last chart I saw, compared to 2019, the greatest year of our country.
Historic numbers of jobs created in the first year of his term in office, and a lot of it traced to the American Recovery Act. But yeah, we're paying very close attention to it. But this starts with Putin, because the global inflation, for reasons beyond the gas price, global inflation is something that we have to deal with globally, but we have our responsibility to deal with it.
Oh my God, I can't do it anymore. Globally, we have to deal with it globally. We have to do our part. It's nothing to do with gas, man. They have seen the poll numbers. They've seen the number of Democrats retiring, and it's a cliche to be like, they are panicking. But truth be told, look at them. They're like, you got that article from Friday. Oh, I should have saved it. There was an article from Friday. Joe Biden did an interview where he said, as crazy as it is, he was like, why are people angry at me because of this country? Why aren't they angry at Putin? They should be angry at Putin. These are the people leading. At least in the front lines. We can talk about the shadow government. We can talk about the deep state. We can talk about Barry Obama and his fake White House. We can go into all of that crap. However, on the surface, these are the people that are leading us, and these are the things that are being said. As insane as it is. Boo. Oh, there it is. Joe Biden slammed Americans. Oh, yeah. No, get out of here. I don't care about you. Joe Biden angrily slams Americans for blaming him for inflation in lie-filled remarks. Love it or hate it, I at least like that read sources. No, you know what? It's just bias. This is bias. I said you got to call a spade a spade. Look at that face. I want my binky. You got to call a spade a spade. This is bias to the right. We saw what bias to the left looked like with the desperate Putin, and now we got the angry, incompetent Joe Biden. The only problem with the whole calling a spade thing is that he really is they really are just lying nonstop, gaslighting nonstop, trying desperately to turn the tide of public sentiment away from them. But unfortunately, it's all powering right towards them. And, the way that they've been pushing the Overton window, the way they've been pushing woke stuff, bailing out people, having campaigns to bail out people, because I can't say they directly did it, having campaigns to bail out rioters, looters, murderers, and then continue to just completely destroy our country, destroy our system, destroy the value of our currency. You know what? I'm okay with a little right-leaning bias, because it's about freaking time. Call a spade a spade. This individual is a serial liar. He has been his whole life. Look into him. Literally everything he says, from his past to his wife, you want to look at that one, to even his stutter, his speeches, his history, everything is all one giant lie in his head. And it just keeps coming. They just keep doing it. And I start to wonder what the motivation's there. Anywho, let's get to it. Oh boy, they got another clip for us. Beautiful. You know what? Let's let President of the United States speak for himself.
So I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it, because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
There it is. Simply not true. Wait, they're not going to show us the full clip? Oh, come on. No, he called it Putin's price hike. There's some printouts from New York Times to read and prove he's not responsible for inflation. Oh my god. Yeah, this is an opinion piece. You get the idea. Oh, here we go. Here's some more. Wait, I gotta shrink it again. Ugh. We'll figure the system out sooner or later. All right, what's he got to say?
Blame Biden for rising gas prices. And it goes on to explain why gas prices are so high. Washington Post op-ed by Dana Milbank. Opinion, Biden heeded Republicans' plea to ban Russian oil. They pounced. And it goes on to talk about why it's gone. Don't let anybody tell you anything you did supporting the idea that we block Russian oil coming into the country, which is going, and I said at the time, prices are going to go up for gasoline.
3%. 3% of our gasoline comes from, or of our, crude gas, oil. 3% of our imports of gasoline come from Russia. 3%. I'd say the prices, which started going up a year ago, were probably because, he shut down Keystone Pipeline. He banned fracking on federal lands. The speculators responsible for a lot of these prices went, oh, gee whiz, better ramp it up. And now we're all paying for it. You look at the scale. I wonder if they've got it here. They don't. There's actually a good chart which shows the price of gas from 2020 to now. And, it starts going up, and then right about there on the chart. Here's the end. Here's here. Russia invades Ukraine. And then it goes, beep, and jumps up again. But you look at it, and it goes, I mean, we had energy independence. We had cheap gas. We had it all, baby. You got scared. Not you. You're watching me. If you're watching me, you're either extremely bored, understandable, or you kind of think like me. And if you kind of think like me, you realize they brainwashed. The cabal, whomever, brainwashed anyone they could into thinking that Trump and Trump alone was the source of all pain. Once they got into power, it'll all go away. Well, guess what, people? It got worse. In fact, some may say that President Trump was the reason why it had started to reverse course, and that everything we're seeing now was supposed to happen in 2016 under a certain individual who claimed it was her turn and was going to carry on the policies of the failure that came before her. However, we the people rose up and said, nah, dog, nah. And we blindsided them. They didn't even see it coming. They had gotten so lethargic. Look at these old geezers just hoarding their wealth and trying to destroy the world before they die of old age, most likely. I'm not making a threat. I'm saying the Reapers are on the corner, especially for this guy. He may be a clone. I'm just kidding.
It wasn't anything we did. And by the way, you're in a situation right now where if you take a look, the idea, can we pump more oil? There are now, there are 172 gas and oil rigs running. Now there are 519 in operation before this all began.
Maybe you should have them make the text a little bigger for you, Joe. Sorry, go on.
But guess what?
What?
They have over 7,000 permits to dig oil if they want.
Yes. Yes, they do. And I've heard that lie repeated from Jen Psaki to Joe Biden, though the number changes. Unfortunately, and I actually just saw a text earlier on Patriots.win about a guy who had sent out he filled out everything, he sent out the contract, he got it back because it didn't have the proper gendered language on it. And he said this could take up to a year to do it again. It's incompetence. And there is a whole story going on with what they're trying to spout is all lies. It's all lies, nonstop.
Why aren't they out pumping oil?
Because they can't pump there.
Why aren't they out pumping oil?
Because it takes time to survey,
Because they've said, and they're very clear, Wall Street bankers have made it very clear. Not a joke. Check it out. And I recommend these two articles to you, just as a little bit of a primer. You probably already know it.
Yeah.
What's happened? Well, the oil companies and the executives, they don't want to pump more oil.
Oh, they don't want to pump oil. They didn't like the record profits they made. Oh, they don't like money. I thought the solution was just to lower the cost. Wasn't that what he said before? Come on, man, just lower the cost. Boom, everybody's happy.
Do so. Nothing is slowing them up from doing it if they want to. Why? Rather than spend the profits in the increased price of gasoline.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'd let this guy finish. I honestly feel my IQ dropping with every word he says. People, this is a problem. It's always, it's going to be a problem until we get rid of these people. We have to primary them. We have to do the research. We have to get rid of them. We have to have not just a red wave. I'm not interested in putting Mitch McConnell in charge of anything or Kevin McCarthy. We need to get rid of them. We don't need a red wave. We need a populist wave. I'll take Democrat. I'll take Republican. I'll take Independent. I'll take anybody who steps up and says, what's going on out there ain't our business. Let's worry about what's going on in here. Let's worry about our border. 2 million illegals crossing last year that we know about, being flown around by Joe Biden in the middle of the night, look it up, to various cities without any consent, literally at midnight. Look at Project Veritas, the scoop they did on it. It's insane. It's insane. They're trying to take away our Second Amendment, saying that guns are bad except when the Ukrainians need them. Then they're fabulous. The NPCs, the programming, everything, it just needs to stop. And it starts at the bottom. Not even this geezer. I don't even care about this geezer. We need to clean house from the bottom up. That's the only way to really bring about change. We thought that Donald Trump could do it, and we weren't entirely wrong. We thought, okay, if we get someone in at the top, it'll trickle down. But actually, the government works the opposite of how wealth flows. We start from the bottom. We start with the foundation. We rebuild the foundation and we work our way up to the top. Because it will. It will trickle up. The sentiment, everything that we put in, the effort we put in will go up. And when it does, idiots like this guy, like Pelosi, McCarthy, the entire uniparty that have been just been using us for their little piggy bank, having all their dirty little games stored over in Ukraine, which is why they're panicking so hard that it's being threatened. We get rid of them, we get our country back, and we prosper once again. Unfortunately, we had years of deprogramming, years of breaking away from the gaslighting for the normies. And you know, I say that, but with the sentiment going the way it is, with everybody really feeling the pinch of what this administration is capable of, I think sentiment's on our side. Maybe people have broken free. CNN's ratings are garbage. They're getting rid of people left and right because they're realizing, oh, they're perverts. And now because of the bill for parental education rights bill in Florida, it's more programming. There's just more programming. They're trying their hardest to be like, Republicans don't want you to say gay. And you go, really? Let me look at that. That says nothing about that. In fact, it says I have a right to what my children are taught. Don't say gay. We're breaking through the programming. Share it. Share it with people. I'm not gonna hit the, I can hit you with the like, subscribe, check out me for more, yeah, but really share. If not the video, then take the tidbits from it and just share them with people. Talk about how insane these people are. Talk about the kind of craziness that's going on, the lying, the gaslighting, and just point out. You don't even have to say these people are vicious liars who are trying their hardest to pretty much drain our country of all of its wealth and put it into their families' pockets. You don't even have to go anything crazy. All you gotta say is, he said this, but here's the timeline. He's lying. And if they try to argue, just say, okay, well, here's the timeline. Here's what he said. It is a lie. We shine a light on them, the cockroaches scatter. When they all run back to their hole, hopefully, we either block it up, or, best case scenario, it's so small that when they're trying to fight through it, they actually start eating each other, which, of course, is already kind of happening in a lot of ways. When they look at Tulsi Gabbard versus Mitt Romney, it's kind of already happening. As people stop believing the programming, as people stop believing the lies, as they go back towards looking at their lives and what has brought them to this point, responsible people understand. Responsible people know why things are the way they are, and they understand what is happening in this government. I'm not sure. Honestly, the red wave, it could be something, it could be nothing. It's definitely a step in the right direction. But with McConnell, McCarthy, and the absolute god-awful GOP, what are we going to do? We know we don't want to be Democrats, or at least we don't want to follow the cult. We know we don't want neocons. We don't want, any of these losers calling for war, pushing forward with war. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to take what you can get. And at the very least, if they say America first, we'll take it. We'll take it. Get the dinosaurs out, get all their ilk out, and we may be able to move something towards something else. All right, that's all for me for today. Take care of yourself, all that good stuff, and, tune in tomorrow. Maybe Miss Monaco, maybe we'll be back, or maybe it'll just be me ranting some more. Who knows? But that's all for now, have a good one.